Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. Your Excellency Paul Kagame, President of Rwanda, Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, Ministers and Central Bank Governors, Mr. Ravi Menon, Managing Director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, distinguished delegates. It is a particular pleasure for me to be back in Kigali, a city I visited for the first time in 1989 as a young World Bank executive at the time. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this inaugural inclusive FinTech forum, which we hope will become annual. Working with the Africa FinTech Network, the AFN, the umbrella body for FinTech companies across Africa, our ambition was to create a leading FinTech event in Africa to act as a catalyst, an insightful and inclusive event to accelerate the growth of Africa and its FinTech industry. I wish first to recognize His Excellency President Paul Kagame for providing the vision and the leadership that made today's event possible. And second, I want to thank and recognize all of you who are present here today, and particularly those who made a trip all the way to Kigali to be with us during these 3 days. So entrepreneurs, regulators, ministers, central bankers, at the last count, it went from 1,913 to 2,754, and I hear today 3,000. So it's good that the event only lasts 3 days, because I think we would have reached a very, very high number. So thank you all for being present. We have more than 400 delegates from outside Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from North America, the Middle East, making this truly a global event in the heart of Africa. I believe that technology presents our continent with its 1.3 billion people, 500 million plus internet users, and 300 million plus e-commerce consumers with a unique opportunity for inclusive development and economic growth. That is actually true across sectors. That is true of education, of health, of transport, of energy, where there is a revolution underway with solar, but also, last but not least, of course, of FinTech. And I want to use a simple example to illustrate this point. I looked at the 10 largest companies in the world by market capitalization, and the list is Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, NVIDIA, Berkshire Hathaway, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, and finally Saudi Aramco, the oil company from Saudi Arabia. And Meta, sorry, I forgot Meta, Facebook, 10th one. Two observations about this. 8 of those 10 companies were created after 1970. 5 of the 10 were created after 1990. This is the first time in the history of the world that we have 5 of the largest companies of the world which are about 50 years old, which is extraordinary in terms of technology. But for me, what this underlines is the importance and power of innovation in the economy today. And this is an area where we in Africa are not at a disadvantage. We can innovate as well and as much as anybody else. And this is a competition where I believe we will play a leading role. So, coming back to Africa, it is my belief that among you today, we have the potential to develop and grow equally successful companies if we play our cards right. And I'd like to emphasize that those giants all started as SMEs. There is not a single one of them that wasn't started by 1 or 2 people in a garage somewhere dreaming. And this ability to dream is something we all share. And I think we should have the ambition one day of seeing an African company among those top 10 in the world. I believe that SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, are everywhere the lifeblood of the economy and can never receive too much focus. Because the way to create one of those giants of the world economy is really for SMEs to succeed and grow and become one day a player on the world stage. So this is all well understood in Rwanda. Rwanda possesses a young, dynamic, and educated population that is critical to the development of the FinTech sector, with several higher learning institutions that are helping to upskill the youth. Furthermore, the Rwandan government is taking important measures to develop a regulatory sandbox to encourage startups to establish their business in Rwanda, as well as to shift to a cashless economy and achieve nationwide financial inclusion. So as I close, ladies and gentlemen, international financial centers, such as the Kigali International Financial Center, offer fintech firms proximity to long-established and traditional financial services, corporate and retail customers, capital for development, financial skills, along with opportunities to connect with companies across the world. So it is my wish and my hope that this meeting, which again I hope can become annual, will have provided you with an opportunity to increase your network and make connections. In business, we all know that tangible assets are important, the walls, the infrastructure, the cash, but I also believe that intangible assets, ideas, innovation, connections, networking, can possibly be a more important factor even than the tangible assets. So it is the ambition of this forum to be a platform for intangible connectivity and assets. And I hope that you made the most of these days. I firmly believe that the 21st century will go down in history as the African century, and that when someone makes the list of some of the most successful companies in the world in a few decades from now, as I did today, some of those will be African, and are possibly, hopefully, present in this room today. Again, I thank you for attending this forum, and I thank you for your attention. Thank you.